I think it's good if we introduce ourselves for the TV audience.
Do you want to open up our meeting then?
So we can do that in just a second. I was going to see if I could find the minutes here on the, is it under Energy Commission?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you scroll down under the agenda, you'll find the section for the minutes.
Okay, are we a quorum?
We do have a quorum.
Okay.
Under the agenda.
I just always like using the fancy words.
Very good. So, I'm David Erickson, Chair of the Ware Energy Commission, and to my left,
I'm Charles Smith, I'm the Vice Chair. Are we supposed to turn on? I'm Charles Smith, I'm the Vice Chair of the Energy Commission.
all right.
I'm Chris Conroy. I'm a member.
James Troy, ex officio.
Sam Small, alternate.
Very good. So we do have a quorum. We have, four of us will be voting tonight, and now we have
Here we go.
Laurie McKenzie just arrived. All right, I have, first on the agenda would be to look over the minutes.
May I recommend that we open the meeting?
Thank you for being so official. Let's open the meeting at 6:59. And I didn't get a chance to read the minutes. Did anyone else get a chance?
No.
I think it might be good. Do you want to read them, James? Or do you have them easily
Yeah, I
available?
can get them here. My tablet's working a little bit slow today. Go over here.
We had a guest.
Yes.
Oh, this is this, okay.
All right, minutes for January 22nd, 2025. Present are David Erickson, Chairman, James Drury, ex officio, and Steve Bartlett, an alternate. Absent were Charles Smith, Vice Chairman, Elizabeth Evans, Secretary, Chris Conroy, Member, Laurie McKenzie, alternate, and Sam Small, alternate. Guests included Emily Mann, advisor for Standard Power. Chairman Erickson called the meeting to order at 7:02 PM. Steve Bartlett assigned as voting member for quorum. Minutes taken by James Drury. Discussion regarding minutes for November 24th, 2024. Motion to accept minutes for November 2024, moved by Steve Bartlett, seconded by David Erickson. Motion approved 3-0-0. Community Power presentation by Emily Mann from Standard Power. Handouts provided during the meeting with a target date for the town meeting 2026. Community Power is generally an opt-out program, but towns may set up an opt-in version. Now, I only provided minutes. I did not do a transcript for
That's
everything
fine.
on this. Let's see, new meeting scheduled, starting February 2025. The third Wednesday of the month will be scheduled and not the fourth. Discussion included questioning if a motion was necessary, but the motion was moved just in case. Motion to move Energy Commission meeting from the fourth Wednesday of the month to the third Wednesday of the month, provided that at least one more commission member can attend. Moved by David Erickson, seconded by Steve Bartlett. Motion passed 3-0-0. Clean Energy New Hampshire dues. The dues were originally required by December 24th, or excuse me, December 2024. Clean Energy New Hampshire offered to change the renewal date to April 1st to accommodate Ware's town vote. So motion to accept Clean Energy New Hampshire's offer to change Ware's membership renewal date to April 1st, moved by David Erickson, seconded by Steve Bartlett. Motion passed 3-0-0. Town building energy audits. NH Saves provides $3,500 per building for audits. Additional discussion around energy usage, such as LED fixtures, heat loss, etc. Various town buildings were mentioned. Commission bylaws. The bylaws are not ready for review. David is still working on them. Motion to adjourn meeting at 9:05 PM, moved by Steve Bartlett, seconded by David Erickson. Motion passed 3-0-0.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Any,
Motion to accept?
We can take a motion to accept.
all right.
I move that we accept the minutes?
Yep. Second.
Do we need you to have been there to vote? We need
No.
you to have been there.
No, I'm here now.
All right, you're here now. So we have a motion and a second to accept the
So
minutes.
if you would, for the minute taker, repeat who moved the motion and then who seconded.
All right, do we have a minute taker?
They should have one online. So we have somebody who will transcribe the minutes from the online meeting.
Is that right?
We do.
That's wonderful.
Yes, that's something that was relatively new.
Oh,
That's a great feature, so I don't have to ask for a secretary, and we hope that Liz Evans will be back. But okay, so it was moved by Chris Conroy, seconded by Charles Smith. Any discussion about the minutes? Then all those in favor of accepting the minutes as written?
Yes.
Aye.
yes.
Any abstentions? Any opposed? So that passes, and I guess we have 4 people voting. Is that the way it works?
That's a great question. So as chairman, do you want to appoint an alternate to be the member, or to be a voting member? We
I
have
think-
quorum, so it's technically not necessary.
I think we are listed as having 4 members and an ex officio. So, yeah, 1, 2. Laurie, are you a member?
I'm an alternate.
You're an alternate. And Sam, you're an alternate.
Correct.
Would either of you like to be a member for tonight, a voting member?
I believe quorum is 3
Yeah.
for.
That's why it was
for our
3-0
group.
last time.
Yeah, and that was acceptable.
Yes. So we technically have 4 voting members now.
So I,
If you would like to make them voting members, that's up to you, but it's not necessary for,
since we don't have any major business, I think we can do with just the 4 voting members.
fair enough.
All
So the
right.
vote, so the vote would be.
The vote was 4-0-0.
Right. Motion passed for,
0-0.
okay.
Okay. Chris,
This is great.
next item was the energy audits. Have you been able to get in touch with some people?
Jessie Dustin at New Hampshire Saves, I did get in touch with her, letting her know that we have the buildings we'd like audited. So I have the town offices, the fire station, and the library. Are there any others that we had identified? I think you had when I texted you, you had said that was it.
I think the old town hall would be a possibility, but when I talked with Naomi, she thought since we don't use it very often, it's not a huge energy loss, but I'd like to find out what it costs just to keep it at, what temperature we keep it at.
Okay. Well, I did email her. I haven't heard back. I have it into, last time I had emailed her, it went to her spam, which was very exciting. So, I followed up with a phone call, and she got back right away. So I'm gonna do that
Great.
tomorrow, so we can see what the deal is.
Did you email from your personal account or
No,
from
from
your
the
town?
town,
And it
yes.
went to spam?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it was spam, but she didn't get it until after I called to follow up on it, so. So anyway, so we're gonna do that, and just to reiterate, yes, I said $3,500 per audit. So that's great. So it's not like a $3,500 pot that we're trying to pull from for each, for all the town.
Right.
And they will identify a contractor that they work with, and they will pay them directly. So we'll get they'll get the report, we'll get the report, and then, they can work with us if, whatever we decide to do, on whatever the plan is, whatever we decide to move forward with, so they will assist us with that.
That's fantastic.
I have a question, Chris. Are any of us gonna need to be there for any of the,
I don't know yet.
okay,
I don't know. When I talk to Jesse, I'll have a better idea of what the requirements are.
Okay.
I mean, we've got all the individuals at each location responsible, so we can make sure that they are in touch with the people who do the audit.
Okay.
And then we can see what's needed after that.
okay, thank you.
I think if it doesn't get in the way, I think it'd be nice to have at least one person there, just so we're knowledgeable about what's going on and we can ask questions.
Yep.
So that when improvements are made, we're kind of in the loop and we can, so.
Yeah. Well, if there's any engineer stuff, I can do that, so, if there's any construction kind of feel to it, so.
Yeah, for the old town hall probably would be.
Well,
Yeah, so you mentioned town office, fire station? Did you say?
Town offices, fire station, and the library.
I think the Southware Fire Station as well, if they're really willing to audit that many buildings, I would like to add the Southware, because when we were, I was at a select board meeting where we had the figures for the energy use for all of the different buildings, and that was one.
Other town buildings might include the north side fire station.
Yeah.
It's not used as much, but there's more equipment in there than people, so you'd see a lot more electricity usage, because that's where a lot of servers and things are going, communication equipment.
Which
Rather-
one? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The one on, by Sugar Hill Road? Yeah.
that
The
little
new
ti-
tower.
Which was the one that the chief was talking about during the ARPA?
Yeah, that one,
Okay.
that's the one with the new
Okay, so,
tower there.
because they were talking about heating and with cooling, with all the service. Okay, great, yeah, so, all right.
I'm finding it amazing if they really would do that many buildings, but if they do,
Yeah,
Well,
Let's go for it.
we can put a list of, we can prioritize
Yeah.
ones. Something else would be the building right behind us here, that the preschool is in.
well, that's owned by the town.
Yes, that's owned by the town, it's leased by the preschool. It has a particular name, and the name has escaped me.
I was gonna ask, okay, that helps,
It's
yeah.
not Sugar and
Sugar and
Spice
Spice.
anymore, is it?
No, well, the preschool is still Sugar and Spice, but the town, the building has a name to it.
Oh,
But if you
okay.
just call it the Sugar and Spice, everybody will know what that is.
So if we were to prioritize, what order do you think would make the most sense?
with the gentleman who was here for the library, I think he was clamoring for us to get into the library,
Clay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be,
I
to
would-
me, that would be the top, and then from there down, wherever you guys wanna go.
Yeah, I would certainly put the town office and the library at the top of the
Okay.
list.
Yeah,
Okay, so town office, 1, library, 2.
yep,
Mark Rorick was interested in having the fire side of the station looked at.
But not the police?
Oh, was it? One of them all just got LED lights.
Oh.
Do you remember
I wanna
which
say that's
one?
the police department, I think, that
The
got
police,
that.
I think Mark was feeling left out and wanted to have the fire station side looked at.
I guess one of the questions is, can we do that as a single unit, or do we
Versus
have
the
to
entire
do?
building, yeah.
Yeah, can we do the entire building at the same time versus doing the police side and then the fire side?
Right.
So if you just put down the safety complex.
Yeah, yeah,
I was gonna ask you about that, okay, I didn't realize.
And then if we can split it up, or we need to split it up, we can do that.
Yeah.
So that might be 3.
Because I think, my understanding is that the audit is a complete audit, it's not just electricity use, so.
Yeah.
it would be
Right,
for
Right.
insulation,
heating and all those kinds of
windows.
things,
Energy
so,
audit.
Yeah.
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 That's what that means. All right, so town offices, library, safety complex. The other
Yeah.
candidates are Southware Fire Station, North Fire Station, Old Town Hall, and Sugar and Spice.
Yeah, so I would contact your contact and see what they wanna give us for that.
Well, I mean, as far as, I'm still working on priorities.
Yeah.
I would put Sugar and Spice above the empty buildings.
Fire Station and
Yeah.
Old Town Hall, yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the
Yeah,
buildings that
pretty
don't
much
house
any building
people.
that people are visiting or occupy.
Exactly.
Okay. Does that
So that
make
would
sense
make-
for everyone? Does that, any of your thoughts?
Yeah, the other ones I can think of would be like the Stone Building, but that's open so
Yeah.
infrequently and it's kept at like 50, 55 degrees. It's not kept,
Do they have plumbing in the stone building?
I don't think they do. So it's just the historical artifacts that are in there and the building itself. There's the DPW complex and the transfer station, one, but those,
You had talked to them, right?
I spoke with, I think it's Steve who now manages the transfer station, and,
it's not Steve anymore.
not Steve, okay.
It's, the name escapes me.
It's not Benji, is it?
No, so, well,
Sugar and
so,
Spice.
so Jason Fisk is the DPW director, and
Yep.
he would have the ultimate authority over the transfer station in that building there. There's a new manager, there
Okay.
right now.
Within the last month or two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last couple of weeks,
Would we
honestly.
be visiting where, it's across, or are we talking about this little building that went next to the dumpster?
Yeah, that would be the transfer station, and I probably wouldn't recommend that one, because.
That door opens in and out all day.
Exactly. It's open all the time, and I'm not sure about the DPW. We can ask about that one, but I would put that one probably at the bottom
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
list.
yeah.
They have a waste oil furnace, which seemed.
They do,
I did ask Jason, he said that's working pretty well.
and they're opening up, they open up those doors all winter
Yeah.
long, so.
Yeah. When I stopped at the transfer station, it was about 90 degrees in there, at least it felt it. And there was a air handler on the wall that I want to find out whether it's is it a heat pump?
Yeah. So that sort of thing would be worthwhile to investigate. It's just, I'm not sure if we need to do a full,
So I will check
Yeah.
on whether, because I guess it's an old enough gas heater in there that it's a little finicky if you shut it off. The former manager had trouble getting it started again. So anyway, I'll check into the next time I'm at the transfer station. So just to reiterate, sounds like North Ware Fire Station is number 5?
Town offices, library, safety complex, Sugar and Spice, North Fire Station, South Fire Station, Old Town Hall.
North Fire Station is number 4. South
Nope.
is
safety complex would be number 3.
3.
Three.
Three.
Sugar and Spice is 4.
Okay.
North Fire Station, South Fire Station, and number 7 is Old Town Hall.
Sounds good.
Coming up on the outside is,
All right. Very good. Thanks for that work, Chris. Did you want to do a report on your work with the New Hampshire Expo Planning? Is it a planning committee? What's the official name?
I don't think we've ever called ourselves a planning committee, but it is the New Hampshire Expo Committee, and I represent the town of Ware, and I would like to update you folks. I'll try to keep it brief. We meet monthly, and certainly any one of you is welcome to join us. We do it by Zoom. So these are the things that we're considering, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. We're thinking about moving it to a Sunday, and it would be Sunday, October 26th, 2025. So lots of reasons why Sunday might work, not least of which is Saturday's a busy day for families, people with kids, et cetera. So we were thinking about trying Sunday out for the first time. And we're considering or expecting to stay at the Bow Memorial School this year. We felt it was a successful venue last year, and we want to use it again. People felt comfortable, and if we're going to outgrow it, then give it another year. I was sort of lobbying for Bow High School, because that's a pretty sweet venue, but it's a lot bigger. So we're thinking maybe we'll grow into Bow High School here in a year or two. So, so there's that, and feel free to weigh in on the Sunday. It's kind of a big switch, but we're thinking that, we're trying to get more people to go, and we're thinking that a Saturday might be difficult, for some people. It's one of the other things that we'll be working on here is our mission statement. What exactly is our goal? And for me, and you folks know this because I've been really vocal about it, is the education piece. We'd really want people to come to the expo and learn opportunities, things that they might not know about, things that they might be curious about. And so that, I think, is an overarching sort of goal. But what about sustainability? Is that something that, we want to lean toward? Or are we just about educating folks and saving money? Because that's the other piece, is just, we really want, folks are very interested in saving money, and if they can save, obviously saving energy is going to save the money, but if we can save other things in the process, great. But if we're talking about a fossil fuel co-op, which we did last year, is that, are we okay with that? And we were. But will we be moving forward? It's just worth discussing. I suspect that we will, but, we're just welcome to think about all of these things. So the vendors seem to really like this opportunity. Many of them seem to think there just isn't anything like it around. It's kind of like a home show, but nobody's there with kitchens, so it's similar, but it's different. And so I think we want to continue making this opportunity available, but we can help to design it. And as always, we'll have a table, and we've got many months to think about how we might want to use that. And who we might want to get involved. And please let me know if you have ideas for vendors, and thoughts about people we might invite, that kind of thing. There was for example, a hemp insulator guy from Western Massachusetts I saw at the Vermont Energy Expo, and I thought he might join us, but he's from the Northampton, Mass area. I think it was just a little too far for him to go, but who knew, right?
Instead of using cellulose from waste paper.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
hemp
It's a
fiber.
hemp product.
Yep.
And those sorts of opportunities, I think, are really cool. So, anyway, there's just a lot to it. But I just wanted to make sure you folks knew that you could weigh in any month, and I can take thoughts that you have and or not.
Well, first, how many towns are now, people can attend it from as far
The
away as they
sponsoring
want.
towns, the OGs are Dunbarton, and then Bow joined a couple of years later. Ware joined, we're like town number 3, and then last year Concord and, not Hooksett, I don't know, Pembroke. Pembroke joined us. So those are the towns so far, but Hopkinton has been invited, and we're involved in a community power initiative, so didn't want to invest time in it. They may join us this year, so they've been sort of circling
When you
around.
say we are, you mean the Expo group is involved in the community?
No,
Oh, Hopkinton is.
Hopkinton Energy Committee
I
was
see.
involved in that, and so therefore
They're
didn't
busy.
want to get involved in the expo, but that's done, and so they may join us, so. Yeah, Henniker has been mentioned. I don't know of no other towns have committed at this point, but yeah, that could happen. Yeah, it's a party.
How about discussion on the Sunday question versus Saturday? Do we have any recommendation
What's
thoughts?
the, we've been, what, 2 years, you say?
Where?
Yeah.
Yes, we've had a table available to us. Mostly Ware's involvement has been me.
Okay.
You know, it's with, I mean, I report to, you know, I reported to our committee regularly, but.
What were the numbers for the last 2 years that you can think of for people anyway, for
Right,
draw?
yeah, we're talking, it's a couple hundred, but there's cross-pollination between folks, just civilians, you know, coming to join, but we have a lot of vendors, but they also, you know, sort of intermingle, so counting the vendors, well over 200. But we really would like to see, we would love 200 people off the street, not including the vendors.
So are we as Ware asking for the change, or is this the New Hampshire Expo?
This is the
wanting to
expo
change?
board, yeah, we're just trying to figure out, because the numbers were about the same. And that was disappointing to us because we moved from Dunbarton Community School, which
Yeah.
isn't exactly centrally located, to Bow Memorial School, which has much greater access to the highways, Concord, et cetera. So we thought that we would have a better turnout than we did.
What would be your vendor's point of going from Saturdays to Sundays?
Right, and they're being, the vendors are being,
They're on
you know, surveyed. They're being
Okay.
surveyed, so that they absolutely will, they will enter the chat.
Okay.
I did attend last year, and I learned quite a bit. It was a fun event, and there were a lot of EVs outside. You could check out different EVs.
What's the biggest draw for people coming in? Like, for instance, if I had a friend who had a race car, NASCAR race car, or something like that, and could show how the fuels are done and things like that, is that considered a draw, or what do we have for, what's bringing most of the people in?
That, I wouldn't have used that as an example, only because I think the demographic really is home ownership, and then, of course, we do have the vehicles, you know, we do have the automotive end of it. But, I mean, something like that would be interesting in terms of, you know, we're trying to get students involved and, you know, senior projects at John Stark, for example.
Yeah.
So that to me, you know, I think it is something that we would consider, but honestly, like, literally, it's saving folks money.
Okay.
You know, how do we, you know, does a pellet stove save you money, you know, but mostly, we've got alternative opportunities like solar, lots of solar vendors. I mentioned I don't have the paperwork in front of me, but 2 meetings ago, I talked about the guy, do you remember? We talked about him. It wasn't community power, but it was setting up a solar array, and there was no outlay. Anybody, yeah.
Not the one that could go direct to
Yes,
charging.
it
Yes.
was. It was
I
it
have
was a
the flyer
very,
still.
yes, exactly. So that kind of thing those are the sorts of vendors that we reach out to. And sometimes they reach out to us. That guy in particular was very interested in, you know, having a prominent spot right by the door at the expo, so.
Are there any kind of giveaways or anything?
Yeah, we have door prizes.
Okay,
Yeah, oh,
okay.
absolutely. And the odds are good.
Yeah, it's only
Yes.
200 people,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, odds are good.
Well, on the Sunday question, I do attend Quaker meeting on Sunday morning, so I would come in the afternoon, I guess, if that was the switch. But I think I've read that only 30% of New Hampshire citizens are even active in a church,
It's not high, no.
and how many go every Sunday, I don't, so.
But how many would go after church? Because it's not, you know, it's an open-ended thing, and if we were to start at 10, and then, you know, go till 2, or even if we were to start at 9, it's not, you know, people could arrive at 10, 11, 12, and there's still, you know, there's no time limit that way. And that was part of our discussion, that maybe it would be an after-church thing.
One thing if I remember correctly, the last expo, I was coaching my son's soccer team, and on Saturdays, there was a big conflict because I believe we had a bunch of like soccer games.
Well, that's, yeah, exactly.
So Sunday definitely, I think, in
Yeah.
my opinion, would be easier.
Well, and that's what that was a big, drive behind it for families, because Saturday's a big day for you guys.
Yeah.
Big soccer day, so.
And the other question you brought up was whether sustainability would be part of the mission along with,
Saving money,
and saving
education,
energy.
right, opportunities.
My opinion is that sustainability can enhance the savings, and is part of the picture, but,
Not an either or,
yeah.
okay.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah, one thing though, going to Sunday, is there a way to get that survey or get the vendors so we can say if we're 100% on Saturday and we're only 80% on, you know what I mean?
oh, no, absolutely. I just wanted to get a read from you folks, if everyone's like, no, Sunday, never, but if there's sort of a consensus, because we're not gonna decide, I'll say, well,
Yeah.
Sunday seemed to be okay, but if the vendors
Yeah.
are like, no, Sunday's sacrosanct for other things,
Yeah.
then it won't happen, because
Yeah.
it's kinda critical.
Yep.
So, but yes.
Yeah, I'm like the half glass tipped over. I don't, I'm always looking at the bad side. Like,
Okay,
well,
no.
what's the worst,
Well, and we try it doesn't work, then, we go back.
Yeah.
So I think we're just really wanting to max out everyone's, time and energy.
Oh, there you go.
There.
There's a good
It's a
theme right
wonder I'll
there
leave it
for
at
you.
once. What's that?
There's your theme right there.
Time and energy.
The New Hampshire Expo, time and energy.
All right.
Well, there you go, because the next item is talking about some kind of a logo and a banner. Anything else on the
There you go.
expo itself
Yeah,
before
that's
we
it.
move on?
Well, one more thing. If any of you are aware of any vendors you think might be a good fit, reach out. So,
Do you have a list of current vendors? That might be, help to,
sure. You want me to share that?
Rod, yeah, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
not at all.
Yeah, that would, might
Absolutely.
prod our thoughts.
Yeah, just so we don't knock on the same door and be like,
Well, right,
hey,
yeah.
we're already part of that.
Yeah, right,
Yep.
yeah.
Great. Well, Chris, we really delegated a lot to you this last time, and you and Laurie were thinking about the banner
Yeah.
and a logo, and I don't think we have a way to show the public what
Well,
If you
came
have
up with, but
if you have it on your laptop and you have HDMI, you can hook up to the projector
yeah.
to show it on the board.
What was the idea? Just like probably that logo right there, right?
So, as I just drew something up pretty quickly. I'm not a designer, so I
Okay.
just something
Oh, I thought you were.
for reaction, no.
Oh, okay.
Very rudimentary. I'm just enough to be dangerous.
Okay.
Cut and paste kind of guy.
sorry, don't trip.
So, the logo is for a banner or for other materials as well, or?
Oh, good question.
I mean, I don't know if we'd ever want
Letterhead?
letterhead to be sending something.
I mean, I would-
Most
I would-
everything's done
yeah.
by email these days,
Yeah.
so.
I would think it's just a banner.
This was
Right.
this was two banners, right? Wasn't it? One for the table and one for the back? Is that what we talked about?
I thought there was only one that you could hang at the front of a table.
Okay, so
Or hang on a wall. I mean, it would,
6-foot banner.
something
basically.
like that,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
So we got $300
Right.
to spend on it. So if you can get two
We
out of
do.
that, awesome, but
Yeah.
We had 300 for the dues.
I'm sorry, you're right.
We had
My-
150, I think.
Actually, you're right. And actually, we have no money to spend on it until the town votes on it.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
So we hope.
So do we
right.
need to design it for the town to vote on it?
No, no, this would be for the, in March at the town voting day.
Right.
That they approve the operating budget for the town. If that passes, then
We can
then the
design it.
the commission gets an annual budget of $425.
Gotcha. Okay.
25, so it's 125 for the,
I believe that
Banner.
is correct.
okay.
So one of the reasons I asked was that, and I don't know much about banners necessarily, but any other kind of printing, the more colors you use, the more expensive it gets.
Well,
So,
so you can go through like Vistaprint, and with the design, it doesn't matter, it's the banner size.
Mhm.
They don't go by color or any of that stuff, they just go by, like designs and graphics
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, I mean, most of the time you can save money by just doing a black and white.
right, so that's a
Something like-
one color
yeah.
versus
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
colors, so that's a part of the equation also, so,
And these are vinyl. I mean, this is something that's
Correct.
pretty
Yeah.
rugged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
right,
Yeah, I make
With
them all the
grommets
ti-
in the
Yeah, I
corners.
make
Yeah, with
them all the time.
grommets, it's
right,
exactly.
right.
I've-
So that's just one of the considerations, right? So if you're designing something, you want to know how many colors you want to do, so.
Yeah, I've also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I've also done a stand-up one,
Uh-huh.
which is a photo. So I gave them a photo of the finished product, and it's all the colors, and it has my business and stuff on it. So they do make those. I think those are around 125.
Wow, that's cheap these days, man.
So, yeah, and it's in a steel case.
Yeah.
So you just take and unhook it, it slides right back in, and you just put it in a bag, and it never gets damaged.
Be interested to see it.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah.
An early question would be 6 feet versus 8 feet, and am I right?
Hook into the HDMI.
There's a cable right there.
I just go up to this, thing, okay.
At
Or
most
you can
expos,
sit right
they
there.
only
Okay,
have
great.
usually like a 6-foot
Thank
table, maybe an 8, but 8 is better because it can wrap around if it needs to.
Oh, I was actually thinking 6. I think Dunbarton's got a really long one, it's kind of unwieldy, and that's why I was sort of leaning towards 6, so that it just is, I don't know, sort of finite.
Yeah, I
But-
mean, it can always be centered anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a 6-foot table that Sam is sitting at, so.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice, just just a nice presentation
Yeah.
for whenever.
And I have professional tablecloths and things that cover tables as well, so if we needed that, so.
Aww.
You have them for your business.
That would be a cool design right there.
Perfect.
Shall we introduce the dog, Chris?
Not necessary, but.
Or do you prefer, does she prefer anonymity?
Is that on camera?
Mostly, yes.
Okay.
So I just wanted to show,
It-
show this here.
It won't be in high quality, it's, the camera's up there in the corner.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to get it to mirror. Okay, there we go. So when we went to, what does LES stand for again? I can't remember.
Local energy, symposium?
So they had a couple of different other commissions, committees there, and so I
Oh,
just.
great.
I
Good
took
for
a
you.
quick picture, just to kind of as a starting point to see what, what they had. So
Mm-hmm.
Kensington, there's Monadnock.
Ah, and that's just green and black and white.
So again, I don't know how they're using it, what they're doing it for.
Mhm.
So that was what I saw there, and then I'm trying to think, I sent you guys.
Yeah, it had a stylized pine tree
Yeah.
or conifer, which,
Um,
being the pine tree riot town,
Sorry, I wasn't prepared, wasn't expecting to do this. So, there we go. So this, again, this was just a starting point. I tried to do, it's not gonna work very well, is it? I tried just to do a color, like a one color thing or a two color thing, so, and again, I'm not a designer.
I think it looks pretty good.
So, in other words, the sort of the energy bolts can't be yellow.
Oh, yeah, I can
No,
change
no,
them.
I know they can be, but in terms of if we're trying to stick to the 125 range, it's gonna be more of an issue.
I think the thing to do would be to find out what the banner would cost.
Right,
And what the specifications for that are.
sure.
And so the reason I'm mentioning that is that you had sent me the town logo,
Right, yeah, that,
the seal.
yeah.
There's a lot that's going on. One, it's
Right.
really busy,
Yep, yeah, it is.
and two, it's many, many colors, so.
So
Okay,
the town does use a local print shop that has the town seal in a high-res version for that, and they may be able to help with some design finalizing as well, to say, yep, we can put yellow in there, or turn the lightning bolts to white, or, tweak things a little bit.
Yeah, or even, really?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can do better than that. So I think that's, if we can talk to those people, if you know who that is, or who we can contact to find out who that would be.
I can send it on again.
Okay,
All right. I kind of think that the seal has a lot on it that doesn't apply to energy. It's more history, the boot manufacturing and the old town hall. So I like just the tree. What do other people think?
The tree's good, but I would probably use Town of Ware instead of just Ware up top.
that's what I liked about these, is that it was very, it's sort of, a logo should be
Catchy.
what it's about,
Yeah.
and so that's what I liked about these two,
sure.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
Energy Commission, I know like energy bolts are kind of, trite, but
Yeah.
it communicates the idea, so.
Sort of ready kilowatt.
Right, right,
Yes.
yes.
I had mentioned including New Hampshire, instead of Town of Ware, just Ware, New Hampshire. There has been confusion in the past with Ware versus We Are. And, if it says Ware, New Hampshire, then I think that's,
Okay.
it's less likely to happen. So,
So, yeah, I'd be happy to talk to whoever the person, the local vendor, and see what they say, and, figure out
Sure.
what we can do,
sure.
in consultation with the rest of the commission. Take a picture of it. All right. Does that feel good to everybody?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think we want to find out whether three colors doubles the cost, or just adds a few bucks, or.
I don't think,
I
I don't
had
think
this-
the Town of Ware has a style guide, right?
I don't think so.
So, we can pretty much,
Other than the letterhead, that's used for minutes and things like that.
Yeah.
right. There's not a palette and fonts and all that kind of stuff.
No.
No.
Did you get my idea of the, putting the lightning bolts in a circle around the outside? It's
Can you
where
show-
it wasn't
show again?
saying where New
The one
Hampshire
that-
and
which
energy.
one?
The one we're
I didn't send
thinking
you a
of?
sketch.
Oh,
For that one.
Thinking of this was a starting point for discussion.
No, but it's
Looks like the tree's
good.
being hit by lightning.
It's good.
That's what I felt too, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought having the black bolts, or yellow, if we decide to do that, between where New Hampshire and the N, and going around.
Sure.
But then I had this crazy thought of a little cottage at the base of the tree, and the energy is going into solar panels on the roof of the.
It doesn't have to be the tree,
Okay.
again, the tree
That's
is
a
sort of
laughing
like-
matter, is
No,
it?
no, it's.
No,
I
but,
didn't mean to poke too much
Oh,
fun
I'm not
at it.
taking, please,
If
I
it's,
am not taking any offense at all.
What if it was actually like elements of energy instead of a tree?
I don't know what that means.
Earth, wind,
Fire?
yeah,
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Well, yeah, not the band, but I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
there are, instead of a tree, maybe somebody might not get the tree, but they might get the elements, you, showing the energy, you know what
I
I mean?
like the tree because it connects it directly to the town.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like the tree too, and I'm familiar with the Pine Tree Riot, which I think is great, and I'd like to think most people in town are as well. The only thing that I would throw out, and I don't mean throw out, I mean consider, is the old town hall, because that is a cool building. Also, very, sort of ware-centric. And it would, to me, it's sort of like, it's the old and the new. I think that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're sort of helping to kind of transition in a way. So that's something that I'm looking at it, right? Isn't that white building on
Yeah.
that seal?
Yeah.
Up here too, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that building with solar panels on it and a windmill on top of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would just switch out I would switch it out with the tree and have I kind of like and I like the bolts. I think that's cool.
what about shrinking the tree and using the 4 areas that you already have for other things within that? So you got a space in here, you got a space in here, you got a space down here, and you got a space up there. If you shrunk the tree down, you could get the town hall in there. You know what I mean? And then windmills, solar, you know what I mean? So you got places to put things. You know? That's what I'd do if I was graphic designer.
Yeah. I think then we'd have to decide if it's too complicated, or if we'd want to simplify it, or whether that can work.
Well, it's just a graphic here, a graphic there. That shrunk down a little bit in the town hall right there, or
So,
whatever it is.
designing logos by commission is really, really challenging. So, big picture, what are we trying to say?
We're New Hampshire Energy Commission. we're
Yeah,
trying to
well,
say. That's
yeah, and the thing
the
was, you had mentioned windmills, so solar on one side, windmills on the
Right,
other.
but I
the-
guess
the town hall
if
at
you
the
had to
bottom.
explain what the Ware Energy Commission is about, what would the big picture be?
We're here to evaluate the town's energy usage and figure out better ways to use our resources to better the town.
Mhm.
Kinda like that, right? So, that's why I was saying, if you went with something like that, you'd have all the elements of what people think of as energy, and you could shrink the tree down a little bit, and then put the thing in there. So you got
Okay.
that at the bottom, you got whatever at the top, you got something here, and something here, and something here. And then, that's the way I look at it anyway,
Okay.
so.
Okay. Well, so I guess I would suggest, and, Lori, you're the person who kind of brought it up. Do you want to work with me on that, and we can
Sure.
come back to the group with some suggestions?
Yeah, and if you need it
Absolutely.
rendered or anything, I have Photoshop and all the things that,
I did it in Illustrator. It doesn't look like it, but I did it in Illustrator.
Well, luckily, we have until after the town vote, so we've got a little time.
Don't tell me that.
Well, that's only next month, but that's great. Thanks.
yeah.
I got it.
I was lazy, took it with me.
Smart man. Not your first rodeo.
Right.
So, James pointed out we should have item number 5, other business to come before the commission. Does anyone else have anything?
I just have one thing, about the email banner I sent you.
Which I didn't see.
You didn't see it? Open your email, I'll show it to you.
Did you send it on the town email?
Yes.
Okay.
And I got it approved by Naomi, so.
Mail.
Probably would have been from me.
Look at that.
So there should be, go down to the bottom, see if the banner's there.
That is at the bottom, but I think if I hit those 3 dots, I might. I don't see it.
Maybe it's earlier? Here, go here, for whatever that says, test. That's it. right
There. So this is the town seal with the, and it just says Town of Ware.
Yep.
New Hampshire, but it could say Town of Ware,
Yep,
and New Hampshire Energy Commission, I
Sure.
suppose.
yep, so it was, I don't know if anybody can see it, but I was just kinda, just because it's the Ware Town email, I was kinda looking at just having the official banner down there
On our,
on each,
On all of our-
on sent emails and official emails and things, so
yeah, can you alter that to say Energy Commission?
I can alter anything.
Really? Okay, give that a shot.
I could fix the Zacuda files or whatever that name of that thing was, that JFK thing, I could fix that too.
It's a brooder.
Is it Bruda, is that how you say it?
Bruder film,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I have a question about the town email.
Yeah,
Should that be, all of our communications be taking place using
Yeah.
those email addresses?
Yes,
I would think anything but
That's my
I'll be
understanding.
down to pick you up in 10 minutes should probably be on anything to do
Yeah,
with
the-
Energy Commission business.
yeah,
The recommendation is that any information to be distributed to the commission should be done with the town emails.
Okay.
And in general etiquette, while it's not wrong to have discussion in there, we just need to be careful that anything that is said or written in via email is subject to the RSA 91-A
Right.
right to know. And so if we end up having unofficial meetings where everybody's chiming in on an email thread, we need to make sure that that is then captured and put into minutes or anything like that. So it's recommended to be for distribution only.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I have this, send it out, people can say, great, thanks, got it,
Okay.
that kind of a thing. But not to have back and forth communications through email.
Okay.
That's what these meetings are for.
Right,
Right.
okay. So like last month, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And so I sent notes about the LES conference to
Yeah.
everybody, so I don't know if anybody saw that or not, so.
right.
I did get those.
Okay.
Yep.
And.
That's an example of what you're talking about.
Yes,
Okay.
and if it's like, hey, can you come pick me up? I mean, that can be in your personal one.
Right.
That's not necessarily, commission related. I mean,
Right.
it's very tangentially related. to-
Every-
to
I
that.
understand. I just wanted to make sure that if we are doing a logo or a banner, that we're sending it out, that everybody's getting a chance to see it
Yes.
and responding. That's
Yeah,
that
so
kind
if you send that out the week ahead or a couple of days
Yeah.
ahead of the next meeting and say, hey, here are 5 different versions, or however many you want to
Oh,
put.
okay.
Are,
Right, because I know you have all so much time to put all this together.
Right.
are we gonna put,
Ones in crayon.
is that gonna be, that's public, right? So is the public gonna be able to chime in on that as well? Or, I mean, should we,
Only if somebody requests the information. If
Okay.
somebody were to put an RSA 91A request, right to know request in, said, hey, I want to see all the emails that come about, from the Energy Commission regarding the banner and logos,
Okay.
then we can gather all that up and provide it. It's not, like I said, it's only if we start having back and forth, well, I think you should change this, I think you should do that, and we end up having a meeting
Right.
by email.
Right.
It's unofficial, and therefore that should be
Right.
captured and put into the minutes to make made public. But all emails having to do with the commission are technically subject to
Right.
the right to know request. Even if it is your personal one, they can request it. Now, there's always a fight of how to provide that,
Yep.
but
Okay.
it can be requested.
is everybody set up? Everybody got through the,
That's the next question.
I think Steve hasn't yet got his setup, but otherwise,
And I'd have to, I'm working on it.
I thought I was able to send something.
I'll look again.
so all I did was call the number.
Okay. That's probably
And,
what I'll have to do.
They called me back and 2 different technicians was like, oh, this is wrong here and this is wrong here, let me call you back. And then, oh, try it, and then we gave you the wrong password, and, so it was that's normally what they,
But I've tried it,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to get,
yeah, I tried it and I'm an IT guy and I couldn't get it.
all right.
But it turns out they gave me the wrong password,
Huh.
so,
mine expired, it turned out.
Yeah.
Though they say that they don't,
Well,
but
it
anyway.
expires, because what happens is when it expires, they want you to change your password to something you want to change it to,
Okay.
so,
And then
I
you can
did
set
get
the
in.
two-step authentication through the Microsoft
yeah, that's a
Authenticator
mess.
app,
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
yeah. And I recommend putting that on something you don't use all the time. Like, I have a laptop, I just was like, you know what, I can't co-mix business on that, because I use my regular business and I use my job email as well, so I'm not gonna co-mix 365 with 365 and all that garbage, so.
Understood. And you can also get to it through the web. You can,
Yeah, you could, but then it co-mixes on my phone, so that's the only thing, because I have a profile on my phone for my
Oh.
company, and it takes precedence over everything. so.
understood.
Okay.
I'm just saying on your laptop, or if you can just use
Yeah,
your web browser.
Yeah, I
go to
just used- yeah, I-
Outlook.com and log in there.
yeah, I just used 365 on a laptop I had in my closet. So, I didn't put priority to another computer that I had, so.
When I send you a new email, Sam Small comes up as samsmall@warenewhampshire.gov, so something is in there.
Well, the account exists.
He
You
may
just
not
can't
log
get in and
into
look at
it.
it.
Okay,
So he can't receive what you're sending, just like, at first, I couldn't get anything, and Naomi
When I
gave
was
me, she
trying to
gave you
set
that
it
phone
up,
number?
I called the tech support guy and he said to use office.com.
Oh,
So he said that was the easiest way to set up the account.
okay.
Because I tried something else they had in the, the
Yes.
tutorial and it didn't work. He said, no, try this. And while I was on the phone,
Okay,
Yeah.
office, okay, cool,
Okay.
thanks for the tip.
Steve doesn't come up when I try to put him in, but,
And you have the
Okay.
number, right, the 5,
I'll
okay,
try again tomorrow.
all right.
all right, how about next month's agenda? What items? I will try to have the bylaws. I'm not, I think I can send those around for people to proofread
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and make suggestions, edits.
Oh, and if you do that sort of thing, then everybody should just reply singular back to David, or whoever does, that way, and not a reply all.
Okay,
so it's not a discussion.
Correct.
Yeah, we learned that a long time ago, never hit reply all.
all right. Another item is that we have a visitor next time. Andrew Hatch from the New Hampshire Community Power Coalition is going to come and present the way. We had Emily Manns last month, so.
Because it's like a fork in the road. Standard is sort of one way to access, and then this co-op is another.
There are others that we could also investigate, but
But I
those are.
thought they were different
too big.
models.
They are.
Yeah, that's,
And I think the Community Power Coalition will be able to explain that to us. But Emily Manns said they set a price and hope that that will be lower. And she did say that it didn't turn out to be lower than the New Boston, in New Boston, the price that they got didn't turn out this time to be lower than the Eversource price, but they try to make it lower.
That was a timing issue on theirs. They realized that they set their rate for New Boston too soon. And like 2 weeks later is when Eversource changed theirs
Yeah,
Yeah.
and dropped it significantly. And New Boston got locked in at a higher rate. So
ouch.
it'll come back around, but not till next year.
Yeah.
But my recollection from that conversation, that they learned their lesson not to set it too far in advance.
yeah.
And I just gave Steve one of the handouts from Emily Manns, but I think she was going to send it to me digitally so that I could send it to all of
You
you.
want that,
That'd be
Brian?
great.
Anyone want the paper copy?
The digital one comes out.
I hope she does that. She said she would, but I haven't gotten it, or haven't noticed it yet.
I'm a little confused, though, about, it seems like we're talking about community power, which I didn't think that we were going to be doing.
We, if I can step in, my reading of the statutes, and based on what Community Power themselves say, and some of the other handouts that we've seen, it looks like most energy commissions in different towns automatically become the Community Power
Aggregation committee.
aggregation committee, you know, to be the ones that push forward with coming out with a plan and all that stuff. The select board has specifically not given this commission that, you know, that power, I guess, you know, that authority. It's not, they're strongly encouraging us to focus on doing the energy audits. So, so there's that.
Yeah.
So it's fair that I'm confused.
So it's fair that you're confused, and I have to admit, I've been a little bit somewhat on the fence on which way to go on that too. You know, personally, I say, it's like, well, somebody has to do the research to determine whether we're going to have the aggregate committee, you know, to begin with. Everybody agrees that the Community Power Commission would be the ones that would make a plan and present that to the town, you know, and to vote on everything that way. And it's like, okay, yep, agree on that. It's just a question,
Yep.
how do we get to that point? Somehow we have to determine whether the town wants the Community Power Commission.
Right.
And I think somebody has to do some research on that.
My understanding is that it's fine if we do research. We just don't make any decisions.
Yeah.
It's just, what was her name last, Miss Mann?
Yeah.
Uh,
Emily Mann.
Emily was, you know, and I think she was a little bit confused, you know, as well. I was like, well, but you can. I'm like, well, but we can't, so.
My understanding is we technically, according to the RSA, we could appoint a subcommittee and go ahead, but if the select board wouldn't be happy with that.
Not be happy with
Then we
Right.
would be shooting ourselves in the foot. So we'll do it the way, you know, we're advising and working with the select board.
Right.
on that.
So I would just, you know, again, reiterate that the primary objective that the town is looking for is to work on the energy audits.
Right.
And how can we affect change within the town-owned properties. Everything else should be secondary or tertiary to that.
So,
I don't think my personal opinion is I don't think it precludes anybody from doing research on it or having some presentations come into this board. But we just need to make sure that we are working specifically for the energy audits, and part of that would be making sure we get our bylaws in place so that the select board can approve those.
Good.
So,
I think both community power and these audits can save the town some pretty
well,
significant money, so we'll,
we just need to be able to prove to the select board that a community power commission is necessary.
yeah. Once we do our research, we'll find out.
Do any of the community power organizations have any sort of conservation measures related to their mission?
I haven't heard that it's tied in with any of the community power presentations. Obviously, energy saving is guaranteed savings, so,
Right, right.
but I haven't heard it as part of the community power. I mean, here's the little card that
Right,
they
okay.
hand us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mention it.
so could we say basically we're more of a investigatory kind of thing than, more so than a, you know, this is what we found, this is whatever, and if you guys want to roll with it that way? Is that more along the lines of what we're doing? how we're addressed that way? I mean, they want us to do the research, so that's more along the lines of,
Yes.
you know, we can bring that back to them.
They're
Depend-
allowing us to do the research, I
But,
think, yeah.
well, I think I'm kind of sneaking in here, and hopefully none of my other board, select board are watching the meetings, but they, so I would, again, I just want to stress that the primary focus
Right.
for the select board would be for energy audits. Everything else needs to be secondary to that.
Yeah, Janice conveyed that to me pretty clearly, and so obviously that's an agenda item for next time, is update on what progress we've been able to make on the audits and getting those started.
Yeah, I did, as part of our commission and department updates, I did mention the initial information that was provided about from New Hampshire Saves. And the board was, was rather pleased, pleasantly surprised at
Yeah, I
the
was
amount,
too.
at the amount of money that is potentially available.
I'll believe it when it happens, but
Sure,
it's,
right. But,
Sounds great.
As opposed to, 3,500 for the entire town.
Right, right.
Yeah.
it's fabulous.
So, again, the question is how many buildings can be done, but, but even if it's the top three, that's still the top three, and that's
Yeah.
a tremendous, that's a tremendous audit that can be done.
That's great.
Now, the other question is, nobody knows what the total cost is gonna be. They provide up to 3,500, but we don't know if it's gonna be a $10,000 audit for the whole thing.
I have no idea what the
Exactly,
audit costs.
so-
I know they do them for free for homeowners.
So it can't be that expensive.
I'm hoping not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's no other business to come before the meeting, do I hear any motion to adjourn?
Have we done this right here? Is that what we were talking about right here?
Yep,
Number 5?
yep.
Okay, yep. I motion.
All right. Moved by Charles Smith to adjourn at 8:05. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trish Conroy seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye, yes.
Anybody opposed? Anyone want to stick around longer? All right. Good for us.
Thanks, David.
Thanks to all of
everybody.
you. I'm glad we had a good turnout tonight.
And it's the 16th, oh, we probably should have clarified
Yes, I meant to
that.
ask you that.
It's the 19th. Our next meeting
19th?
is on March 19th, 7 o'clock.
Good.
Right here.
Right, I